Breaking news straight from the heart of Philadelphia. Things are heating up behind the scenes, and the season is just getting started. Get ready, Eagles Nation. The mission is clear. Bring the Lombardi Trophy back home. The Birds are gearing up for another run at the Super Bowl, and I've got some red-hot updates straight from the front lines. But before we dive into the latest, I've got a question for all the fans out there. What's the word on GM Howie Roseman? Does he still have the trust of the Eagles faithful? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear from the real ones who live and breathe this team. And if you've been riding with the Eagles for years, 5, 10, 30 or more, then shout it loud and proud. Fly, Eagles, fly. All the way, because it's the power of this passionate fan base that turns any stadium into enemy territory. So smash that like button, share this with your Midnight Green family, and brace yourselves. The battle has just begun. The Philadelphia Eagles have been busy, very busy. After a heartbreaking slide at the end of the 2023 season, Howie Roseman and his front office went to work. This offseason has been nothing short of a complete retooling, with a clear message: rebuild the defense, reload the offense, and put the team in a position to dominate once again. Let's start with what's happening on the defensive side. Vic Fangio has officially taken over as defensive coordinator, and this might be one of the most significant changes for the Eagles in 2025. Fangio is known for his multiple front schemes and heavy reliance on disguised coverages, and it's clear the front office is committed to giving him the tools he needs to succeed. In free agency, the Eagles made a splash by signing linebacker Devin White. Now, White may have had some inconsistencies during his time in Tampa Bay, but make no mistake, he brings speed, aggression, and a championship pedigree to a linebacking unit that was heavily criticized in 2023. Pairing him with Nakobe Dean, who the Eagles are still hopeful can become a true leader in the middle, adds a new level of intensity to the second level. On the back end, Philly moved fast to address the cornerback room. They brought in former Jets CB Isaiah Rodgers, who's expected to compete for a starting spot despite missing last season due to suspension. He brings elite speed and versatility to a unit that desperately needed reinforcements. Add that to the return of Darius Slay and James Bradbury, and suddenly the secondary looks a lot deeper. Not to mention, Avonte Maddox has been re-signed, giving the Eagles stability at the nickel corner role if he can stay healthy. And speaking of health, one of the most under-the-radar but critical moves this offseason was the re-signing of safety Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. After a one-year stint in Detroit, he's back in Midnight Green. His return instantly upgrades the physicality and playmaking at the safety position, something that was sorely lacking last year. Now, let's shift to the draft. The Eagles absolutely crushed it. First-round pick Quinyon Mitchell out of Toledo is already turning heads. This kid is fast, physical, and has elite ball skills. Fans have been crying out for a young shutdown corner, and Mitchell looks every bit the part. But Roseman didn't stop there. In the second round, he went back to the secondary again, grabbing Cooper DeJean from Iowa, a player many expected to go in the first round. DeJean is a do-it-all defensive back who can play corner, safety, or nickel. He's a perfect fit for Fangio's hybrid defense. Together, Mitchell and DeJean represent the future of the Eagles' secondary. They may not be day-one starters across the board, but don't be surprised if both are seeing significant snaps early in the season. These are not depth picks. These are playmakers. On the offensive side, things get really interesting. The Eagles let running back DeAndre Swift walk in free agency, and that led to the signing of Saquon Barkley. Yes, you read that right. Barkley is now an Eagle. It's a bold move that brings not only star power but a dynamic, three-down back who can elevate Jalen Hurts and this entire offense. The Giants' former RB joins a unit that already includes A.J. Brown, DeVonta Smith, Dallas Goedert, and an offensive line still anchored by Lane Johnson and now young center Cam Jurgens following Jason Kelce's retirement. Losing Kelce is a massive cultural shift. He was the emotional heartbeat of this team, but the Eagles have been preparing for this. Jurgens slides in at center, while rookie third-round pick Isaac Sumalo adds interior depth. Yes, there are questions about chemistry and leadership, but the pieces are there. Jalen Hurts remains the key to it all. He didn't finish the 2023 season the way fans expected. The offense stalled, he turned the ball over more, and the MVP buzz faded. But now, with Barkley in the backfield, a reinforced defensive line, and continuity with AJ and DeVonta, there are no excuses. It's time for Hurts to reclaim his elite status and push this team deep into January. One other thing to watch, Kellen Moore is in as the new offensive coordinator. After stints with the Cowboys and Chargers, Moore is known for his aggressive passing concepts and vertical attack. The expectation is that he'll bring more balance and creativity to the Eagles' offense, something that went flat late last season. If he and Hurts can click early, this could be a top 5 offense again. So the big question now is, can this new-look Eagles team put it all together? They've got the talent. They've got the coaches. They've got the hunger after a bitter 2023 collapse. But we've seen super teams on paper before. Will this one deliver when it matters most? What do you think, Eagles fans? Do you believe this roster has what it takes to fly all the way to the Super Bowl this time? There's no time to waste. Let's keep going. When you take a deeper look into what Howie Roseman has built this offseason, it becomes clear this is not just about bouncing back. This is about taking full control of the NFC and making sure that the collapse at the end of last season never happens again. And it starts with identity. The Eagles lost it somewhere down the stretch in 2023. The swagger was gone. The physicality vanished. The play calling became predictable, and the locker room looked disconnected. But now, with new voices, fresh faces, and returning leaders, the message is being rewritten. On the defensive line, the Eagles still boast one of the most fearsome rotations in the league. Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter are both expected to take big steps forward. Carter, in particular, flashed moments of dominance last year but faded late in the season. Conditioning and consistency were part of the issue. That's something Fangio and the new defensive staff are addressing early. If Carter hits his ceiling this year, we're talking about a potential all-pro talent on the interior. And let's not forget about the return of Josh Sweat and Brandon Graham. Graham, even in year 15, continues to be a critical locker room presence and situational pass rusher. Sweat had a solid campaign last season, and the Eagles will continue to lean on him to generate pressure off the edge. With Haason Reddick no longer on the roster, traded to the Jets, the Eagles are banking on a group effort to replace his production. Nolan Smith, last year's first-rounder, now steps into a bigger role. He's one of the most watched players at training camp, and the coaching staff is excited about what he can do with a full offseason of preparation under his belt. At linebacker, the addition of Devin White is obviously the headline, but the development of Christian Ellis and the potential emergence of rookie Jeremiah Trotter Jr. can't be ignored. Trotter, the son of the Eagles legend by the same name, brings a high football IQ and tenacity to the room. If he can make an impact on special teams early, there's a real shot he earns snaps as the season progresses. The secondary, though, is where things really start to get intriguing. Fangio's system thrives on disguising coverages and forcing quarterbacks to make tough reads. With Darius Slay and James Bradbury still anchoring the outside, and Avonte Maddox back in the slot, the Eagles have experience and talent, but now they also have depth. Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean are not just insurance, they're challengers. If one of the veterans slips up, these rookies will be ready to step in. The competition in camp is expected to be fierce, and that's exactly what this team needs after getting carved up through the air late last season. And let's talk more about the return of C.J. Gardner-Johnson. His leadership, energy, and ball-hawking ability were sorely missed in 2023. His presence alone elevates this defense, and let's be honest, the city of Philadelphia loves his swagger. He plays with an edge, he talks the talk, and more often than not, he backs it up. Switching back to offense, Saquon Barkley's arrival is not just a headline grabber, it's a culture move. The Eagles are signaling that they're done with running